Hey everybody, just wanted to check in, say thanks for the support. Treatment went good today. I mean, as good as it can go for having deadly chemicals pumped into your body. Try to get rid of another deadly chemical, I guess. But, excuse me. A couple of friends of mine sent me a message just saying, you know what, Derek, you should tell 1963 in your own words. And as I sat there today for all that time, I got thinking about it and said, you know what, you're right. So this will be my latest video, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope if you have the means, or the time, or the desire, if you'll find it in your heart to make a contribution to the book, so we can get the book out to the rest of people that aren't on Facebook. So I can leave something for my kids and my grandkids, and for your kids and your grandkids. Anyway, thank you so much for your guys' love and support. This is my version of 1963. I want to tell you a story the old man said to me about a time before you were even born, son, way back in 1963. Son, life was so much simpler then, but we had our problems still. Hell, our president stood for something before the government had him killed. And a black man stood in front of the whole damn world and shouted loudly, "I have a dream." Me, I was shipped off to Vietnam. Son, I can still hear people scream. They called me baby killer and spit on me. They lived their comfy lives and they partied hard, because they didn't have to see what I had to see. You could buy a brand new car for around $3,000 bucks. Hell, now that kind of money won't put tires on some of these trucks. In the penitentiary known as Alcatraz, well, it finally closed its doors. Guess the world got tired of the bloodshed that was spilled upon its floors. And the Beatles, whew, well, son, now that there was a band. Should have seen them girls go crazy when they sang "I Want to Hold Your Hand." But son, the thing about the times back then is that we all knew who we were. We didn't have to wait for politics or for Congress to concur. We were Americans first and foremost, despite the color of our skin. And I've stood back to back and face to face with many different colored men. We believed in God Almighty. Hell, now his name's against the law. And we got people killing children and folks they don't know at all. We got doctors making millions off of yours and my disease, while the world outside our homeland plots to bring this country to its knees. And if I can teach you anything about the way things ought to go, it's that before we're made to leave this world, let everyone you know that you may have lived your life wrong at times, but you've always loved your best. And if anyone ever doubts that, son, then put them to the test. Ask the Lord above for just one day to let them live life in your shoes, and they will see that life doesn't always go according to the paths that we may choose. Now, this old man that told me all these things, well, in fact, he lives inside my head. Because, in fact, this man was my grandfather. Before I was born, was long dead. But I think that if he were here today, he'd sorrowfully shed a tear. The way most of us have to live our lives, and the way this nation will slowly disappear. So many of us have to choose between what's right and what's politically correct. It's the ones outside our borders find different ways to destroy and to intersect our way of life, our families, take away our lives, and take our friends. And normally this would be, sadly, where my poem would come to an end. But I've seen great things come from everywhere as I face this terrible disease. I've had friends that I've not seen in years keep me from falling to my knees. So what I'm trying to say to you is, no matter what, we're not at the end of this country's rope. All it takes is for one individual to stand for another, and we will always have some hope. And I hope that somehow when my time comes, and I lose this fight and I leave this world, we're all again, sorry, We're all once again standing proud and true instead of battered, torn, and curled. Because if I know anything at all, it's this, and I know for a fact that this is true. Because I've seen firsthand what love and support can do, because I've seen it from all of you. Remember, I'm a dead man walking. I'm not supposed to be here today. And I'm thankful to the Lord and each of you for the prayers and all the things you do and say. So before I close and say thank you with love and wish each of you good night, just make sure you love one another and your families, and this world will turn out all right. Thank you for everything, guys. I'm Derek Thrasher.